number of members from your 2019-2020 Reading Royals, a couple months after the season ended, saying hello again to a few faces and welcoming back a few others that have joined us throughout quarantine. So we'll start at the top left of the screen. We got forward Hayden Hudson looking good with a fresh haircut and nice shave. Left, Brayden Low, forward for the Royals. Big hi to Uncle Frank DiChiara down there in the bottom left. And then we got Garrett Cecere and defenseman Garret Cockerill. So, boys, how's everything going? I know it's the first time you guys are maybe all in a Zoom chat together, or how often you guys had a chance to say hi to each other so far?
Yeah, pretty often, fine. For Christ's sake, I didn't get the haircut shout out, and I got mine done yesterday.
Well, you're always looking good, so I mean, come on.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
That is a good haircut, though, man.
High and tight.
Let's go to the preseason fight here. So we talked about this a few times, but I know for a lot of you guys, right off the bat in the preseason, we got two of the participants here, some good old team bonding, and this was it's a moment that you maybe don't realize right on the spot, but as the season starts to progress, I mean, this was something that Kirk talked about a lot and saying like, hey, we were all, the Royals were all together from the get as a team, and I don't have the call on it, so if you guys want to, that's probably for the good thing. If you guys want to hop in here or say what you're. You guys can say if you're what you're seeing, what you're remembering. Losey, you'll go into the corner here, and then everything will kind of break loose. So,
all right. So that little whoever that little pigeon was, he jumped and hit me pretty high, almost cut my eye off. I don't know if you can see it. I chased him down.
Here it comes.
Break my stick. There's my stick. And then I tackle him. Give him a nice little friendly face wash. Found a piece of jewelry, and then on top of him, feeding him as much as I could. Getting the crowd into it. Mitchie's out there, Hodgie's out there. Jim Mazza's got his gloves off in the corner. And then this is honestly one of my favorite parts, because it just kind of slows right down. Everything's good. I'm pretty mad, but I'm getting escorted off the ice. I'm leaking pretty good, and then this idiot decides to step on my broken stick already, and I think all hell breaks loose after that.
Hodgie, here you go.
There's Hodgie.
Oh, poor guy.
Yeah.
Here we go.
I don't think it was very very appealing for their team when they had me, Losey, and Mitchie on the same line out there.
Yeah,
I don't think they knew what they were doing.
The best 3-hole in the country. And their guy jumps off the bench and goes toe-to-toe with Mitchie at center ice.
Dude, that was crazy.
Yeah, you can't ask for something better than that to start the year.
I think I was the only guy in the building that didn't see.
Yeah, me and Gar were in the stands for that one, so we got a good view.
We had nice. Yeah, that wasn't bad.
We had a great view in the corner.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. It's like I
think we finished. Didn't we finish that game?
It does slow down. It looks like
yeah. There it is.
Yeah, I feel like I'm.
What was
watching
the score of this game? I honestly don't
really give you.
Score of the preseason
I think we lost in overtime.
Yeah, we lost in overtime. It was.
Yeah. It was.
I think they tied it in the last couple minutes, if I remember.
It was 3-2 in OT, and I think we spanked in the next night.
Yeah, that's right.
Then Mitchie just skates off. He's like, "I'm done for the night. Get me out of here."
I'm not going to Adirondack. See you guys next Monday.
The helmet toss too. That's a staple with him, right? Just get rid of the helmet. Here it comes.
Yeah,
done for the night.
Out of the game. You scat off.
That's awesome.
What did that kind of do for you guys the next few weeks? Because Newfoundland was only like a week away, the home opener, something like that, especially for you, Losey, and Frankie being Coxie. You guys were on the team the year before too, and just kind of a little bit of a different tone, I think, right?
Yeah, that's exactly it. It just set the tone. And you know, the year before we weren't necessarily the toughest team. We were, I wouldn't say we were soft, but we weren't as tough as we were this year. And I think, you know, from that point forward, it was just made evident when teams come into Reading, it's going to be a long night. And obviously, you know, me and Hodgie and Coxie being a couple, you know, more of the meathead guys. You leave the finesse and goal scoring for Frankie and Searsy, but you know, that was our identity, you know, and you kind of take it personally when, you know, teams are coming into your building looking to win, and I've been on some bad teams coming up through my first few years, and we just missed that. We missed that identity and that attitude, and this year we checked all those boxes.
Yeah, Frankie, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, just kind of piggybacking off of what Losey said, like, you know, the next week, the new opening weekend was going to be in Newfoundland. So we, you know, going in there, playing against a team that just won the Kelly Cup, a lot of returners, a lot of American League contracts, NHL contracts, whatever. It was important that, you know, throughout training camp and throughout the preseason that we kind of established ourselves, and, you know, we kind of grew pretty close as a team. And, you know, you hate to say it, but, you know, a 5-person line brawl or a 3 or 4-person line brawl in preseason, it's a pretty good way to get the camaraderie in the room pretty good, and, you know, get everybody kind of buying in and playing for each other. So I felt that was pretty big going into that first week-long trip up in Newfoundland.
Not to forget either, get up to Newfoundland, and K-Mac, or, you know, Coach McDonald was right on it with had the team dinner, let you guys kind of have your space too. I thought like that was pretty important, you know, kind of just being allow you guys to be yourself, like get to know each other, right? Like that stuff, not every coach would have the foresight maybe to do that.
Yeah, I definitely think that was important for guys like even Hodgie and I, just to get, who are new guys on the team this year, just get acclimated with everybody, just have a kind of a big team dinner, even with the coaches and you guys involved too. You, Jay Bird and Shauner and Ellen there, just having everybody around just makes you closer with everybody along there. Then going out for a night in Newfoundland gets pretty fun, rowdy too, so you can't complain about those.
The next day or two though, right? Like, wasn't it also, did you guys see that they like had their banner, they're like practicing the banner stuff on the ice, or was I the only one that saw that?
I didn't notice that.
You didn't notice
Oh,
that?
I didn't see that. I wasn't a part of the first game of the season, so I got missed that.
We were too worried about Cyril Bungie coming in and give us a pregame talk.
That's right.
I think that got us going pretty good too.
Well, it didn't really, because I think we were down 3 Cobb at like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
4 Cobb, 3 Cobb.
Yeah, Losey, tell the
After
story.
that,
Tell the story,
the story
Losey.
about us going down 3 Cobb.
No. Tell how the heck did Cyril? I know the story.
Yeah, I know
but
what you
for
mean.
someone, yeah, with Cyril, how did Cyril Fungi come to be here?
Cyril Bungie.
Bungie.
Yeah, I don't know why you always call him Fungi. Like,
I
he's not
always
a
do.
mushroom, for Christ's sake. We lost Frank.
Frank.
Frank had enough. Yeah, I don't know, man. Just had a Cyril had been a family friend of ours for quite some time. He's from Newfoundland, lived out here in Vancouver or Richmond. My dad got to know him. I got to know him, and he's a pretty infectious guy to be around. Coxie and I had the pleasure of going out to his house the year before last, and he made us a big dinner and you know, drink a beer and had a great time with him. So and he's very musically inclined. He's very good at the accordion, the guitar, everything. So I ran the idea by him if he could come in that first night and help read the lineup to the boys as we started the season in Newfoundland. And you know, we didn't get off to the hottest of starts, but we figured it out. And I think what was 5-4, 6-5. We ended up coming back and winning. So that was a pretty cool experience for me. It was nice having my dad there in the room helping read and you know, being a part of it. And he made the trip all the way out too. So it was pretty special for me. And I think the boys boys liked it. Looking back on it.
Oh,
What
yeah.
did you guys think? Go for it. What did you think,
Awesome.
Coxie?
No, Cyril Bungie is one of the great characters of this world. I mean, every time you talk to him, you're gonna laugh. Just that's something that he says or a story that he says. So, I mean, he's just an infectious guy to be around.
I know it's right before the first game of the season, tensions, not tension, but your guys are just ready to go. You're all working up to that point, and then, just a kind of the opposite. It's kind of just like, let's have fun. It's kind of like a mood lightener, right?
Yeah, I guess nobody really saw it coming just because it was like you said, it was a mood lightener, and we were just like, everyone's so ready for the first game of the year, want to get on the right foot, and then all of a sudden he comes in with an accordion and we're singing a Newfoundland theme song. So it was pretty funny to go out to that, but I was glad that we were able to win that game, luckily.
Yeah, that game, Losey, you got a pretty big goal in there. Ralphie had 2. I think Pascal had the game winner, but I remember on the one that you had, you said right after that was one, and I think K-Mac said it too. That's one that maybe you wouldn't have gotten the season before, you had put a lot of work in over the off season too, to make sure you were ready to, be able to stretch out the D on a play like that. And you kind of just got it at the left post, if I remember right.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he said that to me as soon as I came back on the bench. He didn't really say nice goal. He said you wouldn't have scored that last year. And but I knew where he was coming from. This, the biggest thing that I worked on with my trainer on ice and off ice was just skating and getting quicker and losing some weight. I think I came into camp 15 pounds lighter. So that's what he was referring to when he said that. And it was pretty funny. He's got some good one-liners as most of us come back to the bench and do different things for sure.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, Frank.
Yeah.
You have a few shots while you were gone.
Yeah, sorry about that, boys. Clearly, it was my internet connection, so that was the problem.
Thought you got sick of us.
Yeah, no, it's my bad. I would never get sick of you guys. Miss you guys. Jim's at the golf course, by the way. He's at the driving range.
Yeah, weird.
So I'll tell him you said hello.
Yeah, please do.
So a couple more about the beginning part of the season here. I remember, we talked about Newfoundland. You scored the opening night goal that tied it. LeBear's got the winner. There for a week, probably a little bit too long. Talked about that with you guys a few times over the course of the quarantine and throughout the season. But November, I don't know if you guys remember this. We were up in Maine. First time we were up in Maine, and they won in overtime. Obviously, we had the school day game. I know Haji and Searsy, that's not the best memory for you guys, but it kind of felt like we went to Adirondack on that Friday, and you guys were still getting better and stuff. And we got a big win up there, came back and played Wheeling the next day, and we won in overtime. If you remember, Max scored the overtime goal. I thought that was kind of telling, if you guys remember that little stretch there, because it'd be pretty easy, even on the Education Day game when, all this stuff happened, to kind of just, maybe.
What happened?
Yeah. But no, it was kind of exemplified what you guys are all about throughout the year, right? Is it's sort of next man up, fight for the teammate thing. I thought that was a pretty big theme that kind of played into the season. If you guys wanted to talk about that a little bit.
I mean, yeah, I think it's just because we had such a great group of core guys, I mean, even though Haji and Cecere were obviously a big part of that, but I mean, they were still talking to us every day at the rink, going there and getting better. And so it's not like they weren't around us, but when you have such a good group of core guys, it's like that, and it's easy for other guys to come in. I mean, because I know all of us have been in that situation. You go into a team where it's kind of it's in split sections. You don't really know who to talk to, but I think we had such a good group of core guys that it was almost easy for them to come in and just feel right apart. And I mean, if they played hockey the right way and wanted to win just as much as us, none of us said anything. That's all we really cared about, winning hockey games and doing your job on the ice. So, I mean, if you can buy into that, I think you're going to be pretty good friends with us.
I think it starts, it kind of starts from the top as well. K-Mac and Luke's going into the season, they they recruit guys that are, obviously great hockey players, but, they're even better people. So, like, the locker room itself is just, it's pretty light. Like Coxie said, we're all pretty good friends. We talk to one another all the time. And, whether we call a guy up from the SP, it's like that next, like you said, the next guy, next man up mentality. So like Storky came up, Quincy came up for a while and wound up sticking with us for a real long time. And those are, two of the best guys. They do anything for you. So it's, obviously you got to be a great hockey player, but it's pretty important to be a great guy too.
Especially in Portland, Frank. What I know for the other guys here, they know your rundown, but just remind everyone in your rundown in Portland, Maine, what makes it a great city.
Yeah, Portland. It's an old city. A lot of cobblestone roads. The ground is pretty uneven, but it's a lot of great looking sights. It's right on the water. It's a great restaurant I really enjoy. It's called Scales. I've been there a few times. And other than that, just like hanging out with the boys down there. It's a great road city to go to, and it's pretty fun it's a pretty fun arena to play in.
Well, that seafood, man, that's the best part.
It's the seafood, the lobster roll that is pretty good from quite a few places up there. So, and then I'm a big country music guy. There's this one place that has some pretty good live country music sometimes. So I forget the name of it, but
Bonfire. You know the name of it.
Yeah, I know the name of it. Bonfire. Great spot. I enjoy it. I enjoy it from time to time.
So I remember we came back the next week too, and we played the 3-3 against Newfoundland. If you guys remember the one where Ralphie had 4 goals, Tom Ebbing had his first.
The Academy, right?
Yeah, the Academy.
That's
4 goals in a fight.
Forgot there for a sec.
Yeah, the 4 goals in a fight. Usti in overtime was ridiculous. One of those games, if you remember, they ended up getting us, but we won the first one 5-4, I think it was, and then they beat us. They got us. We got them back. That was a pretty awesome weekend. I remember we had the post game skate after the Sunday game, and you guys were buzzing. It's like everybody wanted to just get back out there and play them a couple more times. It felt like, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think. I remember 2 years ago we were kind of. I kind of got the feeling in the room that no matter what we kind of did, we couldn't really beat them. Like it'd be a fluke. But I know last year, going into every single one of those games, you knew you could win that game. Like we played our hockey. They're also a good team, but if we played our hockey, played the right way, we were going to win that game every single time. And I think that was we just had more confidence under ourselves.
The teddy bear toss game too on December 14th. That was a pretty special one. Mackin got the teddy bear toss goal. It was right before the long holiday break. What did you guys think about being able to, Brampton was another opponent that really played us tough this year. I'll, open it up to whoever here. We kind of handled them. We kind of showed that you guys showed that you guys were much tougher than them too, I would say, at various points, really playing a physical style against them, right?
Lozy, you want to take this one? I think right off the opening draw, we had a face-off play that we were going to run, and I think they scored about 18 seconds into that game. So if you want to just take everybody through what we were going to do.
Yeah, I think I lost it clean, if I remember. And, D to D, and I don't know, it might have been Coxie or Searsy, bad pinch on their part. And, they just went in and tickled twine pretty quick. But, sometimes that's going to happen. Yeah, to be honest, I don't really remember a whole lot, certain games like that, Finer. But just going back to your point, like, Brampton, Newfoundland, it didn't honestly matter to us. Like we knew we were, in my opinion, we were bigger, stronger, faster, more skilled, and we played the right way against every team we played against. And it didn't matter what game it was, whether it was a Sunday or Friday. We knew we were going to more often than not get the job done just because of the core group we had. So yeah, that game, like, yeah, Frank, I do remember that one where you flipped to me and I went in backhand shoebox, but I don't necessarily remember the one where we got scored on, to be honest.
I remember the teddy bear toss game just because we were down 2-0, I think, about 3 minutes into the game. But
did we end up winning it?
Yeah, we wound up winning 5-4. It was one where Mac had a tip, but the Teddy Bears, came down, and then Mitchie scored the game winner. He came down the right side and he went right over the goalie's shoulder, and it came in and out. And ref called it a goal, but nobody knew it was a goal at first. And then it was a long review, per usual, and then wound up being a goal, and we wound up winning 5-4. But I think that there was obviously points in the season maybe prior to that where it kind of showed the resiliency of our group. We're a lot of teams, my first year in Worcester, even last year, or my first year in Reading, there are times where maybe we're down 2-0 5 minutes into a game, and we kind of just pack it in, or we don't have the ability to come back. But I think just the attitude that we had all year, being down 2-0, it didn't really phase us. Sure, we might have been down a bit, but we've never, there was never a thought in our mind that we weren't going to come back in that game. So we got a quick goal, tied it, or made it 2-1, tied it 2-2, and then I think we were up 3-2 going into the first intermission. So that's a pretty wild first period, but it, like I said, it just speaks to the resiliency of our group there.
I got the backhand. You talked about the backhand shoebox goal on the feed from Frank here. If anyone wants to see it, I got it.
I would love to see it.
Patty Mahomes.
Yeah, this was awesome.
Oh, this one, yeah.
Yeah.
Finally recall it. Recall the play.
Oh, I got the call on it. You don't want to hear it. Look at this.
Oh,
That's sick.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, that was cool. You had a couple of those this year. The forehand, backhand mesmerizer.
Well, if that doesn't work, it's probably going in the corner, Frank. So it's cat's out of the bag a little bit now, isn't it?
Yeah, the professional dangle master, right? First time I've ever been called that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, my buddies love that one. Thanks.
And you got this too. I mean, you always joke about let me see if I can get it here. You always joke about not being a skill guy, but we got this. We got proof that there's maybe you guys see the little wizardry here?
The wizard.
Yeah, this is impressive here. This is really impressive.
How the heck do you do something like this?
Good right arm wrist strength, Finer.
Yeah.
I made it Realms, actually.
Yeah, that was on Instagram and stuff.
You've done Hey Barb.
I don't know. Bar down, I think. I didn't have Instagram at the time. But,
you blew it.
Well, there's little Maddie. Maddie Gaudreau.
Wow. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, that was pretty.
Dog days of the coast, I guess.
Oh, gosh.
There were a lot of rookies this year on the team. We were one of the younger teams in the league. It's almost weird to say because, I mean, Max Willman was a rookie, but it almost felt like by the end of the year he may be more than a rookie, not only because he got called up. Obviously, Rob Michael grew a lot. Matt Strome. I thought Pascal LeBears grew a lot. I'm talking about his people too, right? You see the maturity and kind of the what it takes. What did you guys think about some of the rookies this year? Who'd you guys take under your wing as all veteran guys that have been around for more than a year?
I think, honestly, everybody that came in, the guys you were saying that were kind of quiet at the start of the year, that didn't really talk much, kind of opened up a lot throughout the season and really got to, we really got to know them as people too. I guess, Losey, Coxie, and Frankie were the older guys that were there before, but Hodgie and I coming in as guys who had played in the league before kind of just wanted to be able to take younger guys under the wing a bit and just, make sure it's a happy locker room, healthy locker room. Everyone's pretty focused on doing the right thing, and he like Coxie said earlier, you got one job's to win. I think that's what kind of everybody's mindset was, and once we started doing that, everybody became friends pretty easily, pretty quickly, because we were all working towards one goal.
Yeah, exactly. Like seriously said, hockey's a small world, so you somebody or whatever, and somebody knows some of each other, and you have mutual friends. Kind of with me and Stromer, I play with his brother Neary, and I kind of knew what he was about with him playing in the OHL. So, just with anybody that comes in the locker room, you just, everybody kind of knows each other and it gets off quick. And we know we're all good guys and we all want to do the same thing, just win and have fun, right? So it's pretty easy to get along.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys that I could name off. a guy that I became real close with was Tristan Grant. I played with him my first year in Rapid, my second year in Quad, and just been really good buddies with him ever since. Obviously, a guy that played a long time in the American League, NHL games, and he kind of showed me the ropes, I guess, on what it means to be a good teammate. You have your fun, and you got to be a leader at the same time. Which is kind of helped, I guess, me grow in that sense. Jamie Tardif, another guy that all these guys have been around. Garrett Mitchell, this year, like I learned a lot from him, and just on the leadership aspect and what it takes. And if there's the one thing that like I took pride in was if I'm saying something or if I'm barking at somebody, I better be doing what I'm saying, or it doesn't add up. So that's one of the things that I guess I just learned and picked up. And as you grow older, and now coming in my 5th year into the league, like you just know, like, and coming in as a younger guy, like some of these, like a lot of these guys do, they don't know, they're clueless. They were the studs in major junior and the big dogs, but they come into pro and it's an entirely different world for them. So, us 5, going forward as leaders next year, and as the game gets younger and younger, it's something that definitely, older guys take pride in and showing them the right way. So,
who influenced you guys, Cecere and Coxie? Who have been some of your guys throughout your first few years of pro or late in your collegiate careers that have made a pretty big difference for you?
I think throughout my first couple of years of pro, I mean, I played 1 year in Maine the year before, and then this past season in Reading, and obviously guys like Losey, guys like Mitchie, just guys you see every day coming to do the right thing, that it kind of makes you take a step back and look at things, and you want to prolong your career. You look at Mitchie, he's, 30 years old, 29 years old. Has a hell of a career and hell of a life set out for him. And so you look at guys like that and you want to be able to pursue what he's pursuing and live a life that he's living. And I think my first year when I was in Maine, somebody that maybe Reading fans might know is Terrence Wall. And he was the assistant captain for the past couple of years there. And I just think I know Losey play with him in Rapid, and he's pretty good pro. He goes about his business the right way, and obviously he's a good player. And I know Luke's is pretty good friends with him, but just think he kind of helped me along the way my first season too.
Yeah, I'd definitely say Mitchie as well. I know my first year here in Reading, when Luke's was still here, he was a great leader. He didn't say much as a captain, but on the ice, but he would always take you aside in the locker room when you guys are out having dinner or whatnot. So, it doesn't take the kind of captain, the big hoorah yelling at everybody in the locker room to be a good kind of leader too, right? You just got to be a good guy and just have to know how to talk to people. And when I was in Cleveland, one person that sticks out in my mind was Nathan Gerby. He was just the smallest guy out there, but it's somehow, some way finds a way to be in the league. And even last year, I remember he blew somebody up in the Flyers. He had a big hit, and he's just the smallest guy hitting the biggest guy. He doesn't care. He's just out there giving it his all. That's just how they go about themselves every day at the rink, and how they carry themselves outside the rink too.
It's interesting when you say Mitchie and maybe Frankie. I know you've had a lot of people in your life that have helped influence Haji, you too, throughout your career, but everyone always brings him up. I know he's the captain this year, and it's how much in a 4-month span did it really influence your guys' careers looking back on it here?
Yeah, Mitchie, just there's nothing but good things to say about him. He drove an hour to the rink every day from Hershey. His 2 daughters would wake him up early in the morning, and he'd have to be dad, and then he'd be able to come to the rink, and he'd be able to just exemplify what it means to be a pro every day. He would get there, he'd joke around, have his coffee in the morning, he'd get on the ice, and he'd go to work. And there's a saying, it's you have no friends on the ice. Everybody's working at the same time for the same goal, but you're competing for a job every day. And he really he worked his bag off every day. And then once we got off the ice, it was just it was just Mitchie again, just hanging out with the boys, having a good time. Then he'd go home and he'd have to be dad the rest of the day. So he really had a big influence on me this year. And then, like you said, he played 40 out of 60 games, but it was almost like he was there for all 60. If we ever needed him, we could always call him or text him, and he would always be, willing to answer any questions we had. So he was, he was always a part of the team, always in the group text with the team, no matter if he was with, if he was with us or if he was up in Laval or if he was in Rockford for the last little bit of the year.
Haji, what about you? How did he influence you? I know it's your third year pro, you've been around, but what did Mitchie teach you?
Oh, it just goes to show you what it takes to be a captain. Like everybody said, he puts his skates on and he's just a workaholic, man. Wakes up every day, takes care of his kids, does his thing, and just shows the heart he has and the work ethic he has and what it takes to be. He's been there, he's done it, he's played for pro for 8, 9 years, 10 years. I don't know how long he's played, but this goes to show you what it takes to be in that league that long. And hard work pays off. He finds himself back in the HL, and everybody just takes from it, and it's infectious.
There's a reason why he was a captain in Hershey for so long, and then when he goes to Rockford, he's there for a couple weeks and he's got an A on his jersey. He wasn't there all year, but it's his attitude is infectious, and when he walks into a room, people know who he is and people respect who he is. So he's just one of those guys that you're really fortunate to have met in your career.
Favorite games from this year? What do you guys got? What are some of your favorite games from this past season?
Not the Paw Patrol game. Tough jersey, tough game.
I'm trying to think right now.
Favorite games.
The Adirondack game was pretty cool at the end of the year when we finished the game with 7 forwards or 8 forwards. Rob Michael was playing forward.
Wait, Haji got kicked out, right?
Yeah. Haji got kicked out beginning of the game.
Period, I think.
Yeah.
5-6 minutes in, yeah.
Yeah.
The end of the 3-3, wasn't it?
That was
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the end of the 3-3. The main game was pretty cool towards the end of the year when the big save at the end with Tommy.
I thought that Atlanta game was funny just because it was it was honestly pretty easy.
Yeah, that was pretty interesting. I'm trying to that weekend, the Pink in the Rink weekend, was just pretty cool with the amount of fans that we had. I don't think we'd ever played in front of that many people, in Reading anyway. That was pretty cool. Newfoundland opening night, 6-5. That was just a back and forth game.
Yeah.
There were a lot of good memories this year from games for sure.
Yeah, I'm trying to think any road games.
I really liked liked because we got the win there, but back end of a 3-3 coming out of the holiday break where we got into Brampton at 6 a.m. and Bode scored twice, got the 3-2 win. It had to be the worst broadcast call of my career, I think, but getting the win was pretty nice. That one was a fun one at the end of the day. I got the schedule here from this past year.
Probably fun to watch, maybe not too fun to play in.
No, it wasn't that much fun to watch either, to be honest.
Sure, there 40 people were on the edge of their seats.
Yeah, the dozens of screaming fans.
Yeah.
Cecere, first career game-winning goal in Atlanta.
Not a big deal.
Not a big deal.
I'll take that one to the stat sheet. Put in the record books.
What else we got? That Adirondack weekend, you're right, with the 7 forwards. There was the 6-5 game the night before, which kind of stunk. They ended up getting us in the shootout.
Yeah, I remember that game well.
Oh.
I remember that game well. Sorry, boys.
Yeah, thanks, Frank.
Yeah.
That was
just
pretty good.
The first Toledo game was pretty cool. When we played them at home that Thanksgiving weekend, that was the first time we had played anybody.
Is that when you fought, Foxy?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
sick.
Lexi. We won that game too. Yeah.
Mitchie pumped Moffat.
Yeah, he did.
Oh God! And then we won that game. I think it was 4-2, 3-2, something like that.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Just because it was Toledo was in the finals last year too, so it was kind of matching ourselves up against another Kelly Cup final team and somebody that we don't see too often. So
Do you like that game, Frank? Because you got the game-winning goal in it. Because I'm looking at it here, it looks like your second game winner of the year. Is that the reason why there? Or?
Nah. I remember the game well though. I have an elephant brain. Fine, I remember everything.
I know Yale.
That is. I agree with that.
Yeah, he's a walking hockey database.
Yeah, exactly. Don't need elite prospects around Frank.
Anything you need to know, let me know. I'll find it for you. I usually got it up here, but
What game's going on behind you right now? Miracle?
oh yeah, come on, man. Oosty wouldn't like it, but yeah, I don't got a whole lot going on in my room right now. So
When's the last time any of you guys have heard from Cockerill? I saw his classic the Instagram post, but no caption on it. But other than that, I don't know if Correal's made contact.
who knows what's going on in Gomel, Belarus right now? Just let him sleep.
He was unbelievable. What was he final? He was 19-2 or something like that.
Yeah, he was. Let's see if I can get the exact record here. He was 19-4-5 with a 2.4 goals against and a 920 save percentage in 31 games. He would have, if he had been with us like another week or two, he would have had the most home wins of any goalie in Royals history, like in a season, right? Because I think 14 of his 19 wins were at home. He just won every single home game.
Imagine if he wouldn't have played the puck outside the trapezoid.
I know, right?
Hey, Finer, how do you say it? Is that good?
That's how you say it, Haji. You got a picture in the biz.
He was something else. He's gonna that kid's gonna be in the NHL one day.
He was incredible, man.
He was lights out. Weird guy, but
yeah, awesome guy.
Awesome, yeah, hilarious.
Crazy guy.
Felix was awesome too. Great guy. A little quiet, opposite of Oosty, but
Opposite but funny.
in terms of how quiet he was, but
all right. Go ahead, seriously. My bad. Keep cutting you off.
I was gonna say, yeah, both of those guys had a pretty good work ethic, and I think Felix really kind of took Oosty under his wing a little bit too, and showed him how to work a little bit, and just broke the language barrier a bit, and kind of took them together, and they were able to find some wins for us this year, which is pretty good.
I'm looking at it here too. There were some good road trips this year. You guys will kind of let you design a little bit of a dream road trip, Haji. You got to pick some places to go in the ECHL for whatever reason, whether you're getting some wins or whether you're getting some good food. What's a good road trip for you? Design a nice road trip for us.
I think you got to start in Newfoundland. Like, that's the place, right? You got to start in Newfoundland. You know, obviously the boys have their reasons to go up there. You know, but we talked about it before. But you know, just a trip to Newfoundland, staying a week there, and then maybe a main trip right after. We nailed that on the head too. And then obviously you can't forget about the Florida teams. You know, the down south teams. Florida, Orlando. You know, Coxie's played in Orlando. But South Carolina, I haven't been to South Carolina yet, but I heard great things, obviously. Tons of golf. I know we all love the golf, so I think that's a good 2-week road trip there, if you want to say it.
What do you guys? What's a perfect road trip for you, Frank? We know Portland's probably included in there, but take us through a little rundown here. Where do you want to go?
we've been to Newfoundland a few times, so I could not maybe go there, but definitely Florida. I've only ever been to Orlando. I heard Fort Myers is a pretty fun time. Good place to play. Good team. Jacksonville, I've heard, is pretty gorgeous at any time of the year. Charleston. I'd like to go. Went to Utah my first year in Worcester. That was pretty cool. It was definitely a place that you'd only need to be there for a few days. But then, I don't know, Allen's fun. They were good this year too, so that'd be pretty cool. Hey, Doug. Mr. Low.
Hello, everybody. I didn't want to go on.
What's going on?
You know, breaking in the beer fridge. We drink beer, believe me. I tell you.
Molson, need one of those. Need one of those. No, maybe finish the trip off in Rapid.
Because why not?
Yeah, no, absolutely not Rapid. But
Closer. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say maybe like Cincinnati or something, and then Toledo's pretty cool to play into. But I don't know. That could be the end of the road trip.
I feel like you're the expert on this, Losey, that your answer is going to be the one that carries here. You got to design a road trip. What's the experts say?
Yeah, you know what? We go to Newfoundland enough. So my ultimate, I'd never been to. I think I'd start hit South Carolina, and then right to Fort Myers, and then take a flight from. And you know what? Throw Orlando in there too. That's a fun place. And then take a direct flight right to Boise, Idaho. Stay there for about a week, and then maybe cruise around Salt Lake City. That's a very nice spot. I would completely avoid Rapid. And then maybe right from Boise, just for fun of it, just go up to Portland, Maine, and play there on a Friday.
Anyone throwing Norfolk in their road trip? Because that's a place you get some wins and you get some good food and you can hang out. I feel like that's the no.
Nah.
You have those scooters, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
If it's a Saturday, Sunday, maybe, and you get there Friday. You know what? I throw on the flight from Fort Myers up to Idaho. I would definitely throw Allen in the mix of that, 100%.
Yeah, Allen's fun. I got family there too, so stop to see them.
Stop.
That doesn't matter.
Yep. I got just a couple more for you guys. Then we'll let you go and get on with your lives here. I know Frank bedtime's coming up too. So
Dinner time, Christ fire.
Yeah. This season, if you had to pick, I said the one guy to room with. I've asked this to Frank already on our little quarantine talk. But you got to pick one guy to room with during the quarantine. Who's your go-to quarantine mate here?
I'd have to pick Losey. Me and him were road roommates all year long, so we had some pretty good times. I'm sure the corona wouldn't hold us back either.
Yeah, absolutely. We had a very good system going. You know, corona or no corona, I think me and Coxie still find a way to have fun.
Seriously.
I roomed with Haji a little too much too. I had too much seeing him. So
Yeah, exactly. It's good to get away on the road finally.
Haji, who would you room with? You got one person to can only room with one person during quarantine. I need
one teammate.
One teammate during quarantine.
I don't know. I think it'd have to be Usti.
Because he wouldn't say anything.
Yeah, because he wouldn't say anything. I get my 10 hours of sleep or whatever. But anybody finer. Any one of these guys would be perfect. I kind of jumped around. Searsy, me, Mac, and Storky. All those guys are good.
Searsy, who do you have?
Yeah, I think Hodge just said, I think Storky would be a pretty good one just because he's got some funny jokes and he's cracked some one-liners that you just don't expect coming. And he does love his golf and he loves playing cards too, so that's pretty fun.
I might change my answer for quarantine. Well, I said Swaves was a good roommate, but I might go off the board and say Stromer. He was pretty hilarious towards the end of the year, and he would just he would rag on a few guys, just be able to talk to him and just kind of see what he's got, see what's going through his brain that day. I don't know if there's a lot going on up there, but be pretty interesting.
He did open up pretty good. It got pretty funny.
He did towards the end of the year. I think Ebbs really got him. Ebbs really got him going, feeling pretty comfortable.
He's enticing. He manipulated him a little bit, which was funny.
Yeah, just get him going.
Yeah, Ebbs is another guy we didn't even talk about. Thomas Ebbing had a really good season with us this year. He scored 12 goals, 27 points, half a season. I mean, that's as good as it, from his perspective. He talked about that it was a really good situation. Guys, kind of leave it with final thoughts. What's going on with you guys next few weeks? What do you guys got planned? Everything seems to kind of be opening up back up a little bit. So leave it to you guys. Take us through here.
I just want to get back on the ice as soon as I can. Start coaching, going on the lake, just doing all those summer things now. So got to worry about the governor and our government opening it back up. So not much we can do here.
No, it's nice to finally see things in motion. Obviously parks are opening up, and golf courses. That's the main thing. That's what I'll be doing most of the summer. But like Coxie said, get on the ice. I miss the game. I want to get back on the ice. I'm just finding myself stick handling in my garage or whatever, stick handling outside. So, just to get back on the ice that's huge.
Gonna keep playing some golf. The courses are open here, so they finally allowed us to take carts again. Although I enjoyed the walk a little bit, but definitely get back on the ice, seeing all the guys from my men's league team and stuff. Just hanging out with everybody again and not having to stay maybe 6 feet apart. And then definitely need a haircut. Definitely looking forward to a haircut and eyebrows.
Get that one in there, Finer.
That's not being deleted.
Nah, you can leave that one in there. I don't care. Everybody knows my.
It's nice. BC's done a pretty good job in handling the virus. Things are sat on my first patio last weekend, got served, and I was at the Cactus Club yesterday. We'll be there a few more times throughout.
Wow.
As all four of you guys know, the Cactus Club's a pretty good spot. It's just kind of take it day by day. I'd love to get back on the ice. Don't know when the rinks are going to open up, but just slowly start to prepare for the season whenever it is, and have a little fun, get some sun, and go up to Kelowna and just hang out. You know how it is.
Beersy?
Luckily, things in Des Moines have been pretty laid back for as the virus has gone forward. So I've been able to go to the arena here and skate for the past probably month or so. So that's been nice, just able to get on the ice and just kind of relieve from stress, get back to what is right, and get on the golf course, trying to as much as I can, and then just spend some time at home is pretty good too. You don't really get this much time off all the time, so it's nice to just spend some time at home, kind of relax, decompress a bit, and get ready for the season.